Before they ever met, David Beckham saw Victoria Adam performing with the Spice Girls on TV. In 2008, David told Ellen he knew he wanted to marry Victoria after seeing the Spice Girls on TV. I was in a hotel room with my best friend who was my best man at my wedding. He said, I remember turning around and said, I want to marry that one. Before we proceed, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to like and share this video. David and Victoria Beckham met at a soccer match in 1997. They got married in 1999. Victoria told David she was pregnant with their firstborn and eldest son, Brooklyn, the night before one of the most infamous games in David Beckham's career. They share 4 children, Brooklyn, Romeo, Cruz, as well as daughter Harper. Victoria has said love at first sight does exist. Once Victoria spent the whole game watching the wrong team because she didn't have her glasses on. She said that the moment she laid eyes on David, it was love at first sight. But she was a little bit drunk, so the exact details of their meeting are a bit hazy. David has since joked, I made her fall in love by giving her a bit more wine. Victoria approached David first. She noticed that while all the players were hanging out with their mates, David was sitting with his family. Since she was too close to her family, she thought they would be well suited. Their second meeting was more involved as David shared with Jimmy Fallon on Tonight Show. We talked for about an hour in a player's lounge and then she actually got the flight up that day. So she wrote her number on her flight ticket, which I still have, he revealed. Victoria was taken by David's family-oriented nature. They announced their engagement in January 1998. In 2014, Victoria posted a picture of her dress that she wore on her first date. Their love story is featured in a new Netflix documentary, Beckham. The fashion designer and the soccer player moved to Spain in 2003 when David signed a 4-year contract with Real Madrid. They would remain there for the next several years. They have endured their fair share of hardship and come through stronger. After more than 2 decades of marriage, they are more in love than ever. In November 2020 Instagram post, Victoria wrote, Gaston want his boots back. Victoria compared her husband's oversized black boots to Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. Before we continuing, please hit that subscribe button. Victoria lauded her husband in an interview when asked about his high voice, and she replied, I don't really notice that he has a high-pitched voice. I think he's so perfect that people have to find something wrong with him. In an interview with BBC Radio Desert Island Disc, David revealed that he and his wife had tied the knot for a second time in 1999. It was a lot more private. About 6 people there in our house, he shared. People have talked about, do we stay together because it's a brand? Of course not. We stay together because we love each other. David and Victoria built their empire and family side by side. Victoria has 32.6 million followers on Instagram and Victoria is a fashion model. David and Victoria's first kiss took place in a pub car park near his parents' house in Epping. When they first started dating, David and Victoria would often meet in a car park of a harvester in Manchester and make out in his car. The couple wedding, which took place in 1999, reportedly cost $800,000. The couple asked for a shopping voucher instead of wedding gifts. David Beckham has various hobbies including beekeeping, collecting Legos and shopping for luxury items like designer's watch. Victoria had David's initial tattooed on her wrist. The fashion designer decided to remove several of her old tattoos because they had faded and turned a bluey color. They just didn't look so nice, she told Honda during an appearance on Today. It doesn't mean anything more than that. Victoria added, I think that the media started to speculate, was I leaving my husband? No, I was just a bit sick of the tattoos. It's as simple as that. Victoria Beckham has spoken candidly about husband David's highly publicized alleged affair, describing it as the hardest period of their marriage. Despite the challenges, they managed to overcome these and keep their marriage intact. We hope you enjoyed this video. What's your take on their story? Please feel free to express your opinion in the comment section.